Hello and welcome everyone again into another video. In today's video we will talk about the best teams in the Retro Cup. Retro Cup is the second to the last themed cup in the it's the last themed cup in this season, because the next week, the week after, the Retro Cup will be all leagues, and which will be the last week. So hopefully the either of these teams should be able to help you out into climbing to a new rank, and hopefully the legend rank if you haven't. We'll talk about Retro Cup, the best Pokemons, the best teams, and some solid teams that we had in the previous seasons, and like some historical background, as we always do. So what's Retro Cup? Let's just go and straight to the point. Retro Cup, basically no Dark, no Steel, no Fairy type, and it's a great league format. People used to say that Retro Cup is the best because the three hard meta types are banned: Steel, Fairy, Dark. Those types are always meta, and they aren't a thing in this cup. So it used to be like the cup with no Bastiodon. That was like the best thing about this cup, no Basti. But now Bastiodon is technically nerfed, so it's technically, it's no longer meta. So let's talk about the top Pokemons in this cup, so we can be able to build a team around it, around those top meta Pokemons. If we take a look at PvP, number 1 is Clodsire, number 2 is Primeape, number 3 is Clodsire again. What's the difference? One has Stone Edge, the other one has Poison Sting. What's the difference between having Stone Edge and Sludge? Sludge is one fast move less than Stone Edge, so technically it will help Clodsire to be better Pokemon in the 2 shield when you need to grab shields faster, or in some situation where you need to be just spammy. Mandibu's... Wait, this is not a Retro Cup. 1 second. Okay, that was Open Great League for some reason. I'm like, wait a second, there is no way it's Mandible. So it's a Clodsire followed with Lickilicky and Oranguru. Why Lickilicky and Oranguru? I mean, technically because we have Primeape, Feraligatr in this cup. So Primeape, Feraligatr, and Clodsire all lose to Oranguru because it's a Confusion user Pokemon with Trailblaze that will be able to boost their fast move damage with Trailblaze and then ramp up. It's arguably the best Pokemon in the 2 shield in this cup. So if you would like to flip switch, you just go Oranguru and double shield it and just keep boosting. Feraligatr sadly is a hard meta in this cup. Same goes for Primeape and Dunsparce. But we have some new faces here. Arctibax. Arctibax, when it was first released, was actually a good Pokemon. Now it's not as good because we have Clodsire, which is a tanky Pokemon that is a spammy as well. 6 fast moves to 1 charge move. That's, for the bulky Pokemon, that's 6 seconds to get to a charge move on a bulky Pokemon is just insane. Dunsparce, Arctibax, Drifloon is going to be everywhere, trust. I will be using Drifloon myself. Jumpluff, Cresselia, I mean, we expect those to be meta always whenever they are eligible because they are just tanky and they are spammy, and they can win lots of matchups in the Zero Shield and even sometimes bad matchups. Ororos is a unique Pokemon in this cup, and I remember there was a YouTuber, I don't know if they still make content, his name is Human Catcher Bug. He made a video about Altaria, Ororos, Cresselia team, and that team became literally everywhere. Now, I divided those Pokemons into 3 different categories: leads, swaps, and generals. What are the generals? Those Pokemons are usually the best. They are good everywhere. That's why they are generals. Leads are Pokemon that have fast move pressure and charge move pressure, and they have a baiting move, and they have a nuke potential. Biggest example about that is Primeape. Every 4 seconds you get Rage Fist, and every 5 seconds you get a Close Combat, which is technically a hard-hitting charge move. Same goes for Feraligatr. We have Shadow Claw. The combination between Shadow Claw and Hydrocan is just lethal. You could say the same go for Oranguru. They buffed Oranguru this season and they made Brutal Swing 35 energy. It made Guzzlord worse because Guzzlord preferred to run Crunch because sometimes you would benefit from the Crunch debuff, but it made something like this much better because now it has a cheap move. Altaria used to be a top meta Pokemon, similar goes to Dugong in this cup, but I wish they aren't. So the safe swaps, the best safe swap in this cup is technically Lickilicky and Dunsparce. Goodra is the third one. Frostlass is whatever. I don't think any of these Pokemons is as safe as Lickilicky, Dunsparce, and Goodra. I myself will be using Goodra because I love this Pokemon, but the problem is I have an Android phone, and Android phones just generally lag much more than with the frame drops on one-turn fast move Pokemon. So if you are using Android, I don't recommend using any of the one-turn fast moves. The generals, as I said, those Pokemon are OP everywhere. We're talking about Cress, Clodsire, Shadow, Kanto, Marowak, and Gastrodon. Aurorus and Jumpluff, as I said, they are some tanky Pokemons. Are they like some worth mentioning Pokemons? I would say that Lantern has a use in this cup. Shadow Gyarados is always good in Retro Cup. In fact, it's one of the best Pokemons. I always use it. And it always have a place in this meta. I do think that in the current meta, you could get away with Waterfall Shadow Gyarados. I myself has a double legacy Shadow Gyarados. Shadow Zapdos also have a place in this meta. Same goes for Beedrill and Como. But if we want to build a team, I do recommend using these top meta teams. As an example, the top meta team number 1, which is Clodsire, Jumpluff, and Aurorus. What does Aurorus do? It beat those two. That's what it does. What does those two do? They beat everything else. So you need Aurorus because it kind of like core broke those two Pokemons, and those two Pokemons are just the best core in the entire cup. Because like the problem with this is that it's a bit weak to the Mud Slappers. If the opponent is running a Mud Slapper, it's kind of annoying. Because remember that Mud Slap is super effective here. But if the Mud Slapper is K-Wack, remember that Aurorus will take super effective and do super effective back. So it's not the end of the world. So usually if it's a Mud Slapper in the lead, you're kinda screwed. That's why I recommend using either of those. I don't recommend using those two together, but I always recommend just use Clodsire, because Clodsire is like the poison Pokemons that has a play against the ground Pokemons better than Aurorus. But I wouldn't run such a team. I myself, if I want to recommend a team, I would recommend something like Clodsire with Cresselia and Primeape. What does Primeape do? It's the spammiest Pokemon in this cup, and it's so frail to the point where like you have to run two tanky Pokemons, and that's where like Clodsire and Cresselia comes in handy for. Cresselia is just too tanky, and it doesn't technically have a bad matchup. Remember that they are like a very few meta Shadow Claw users, and technically all of them are bad. Same goes for Clodsire. It's like Clodsire only lose technically to ground Pokemons. Confusion users are manageable because Confusion users do not resist Poison Sting. Like Gastro and K-Wack are like much worse into this because they do super effective and they resist, while like Confusion users, they just do super effective but they don't resist back. But Clodsire's superior stats will help him out to withstand the Confusion users. So with this team, you basically leave 2 shields for no matter what happened to the Primeape, and let those 2 just get the shields and try to do as much damage as possible. Oranguru is tough for this team. What would you be running, Yasser? I mean, if I have an iPhone and I have Shadow Kanto Marowak, I would literally just run Dragonair with Aurorus and Shadow Kanto Marowak. It's the team that just overall hits extremely hard. But I don't have Kanto Marowak, and I don't like Gastrodon, because the thing about Gastrodon is just get walled easily by Flyers, and you have no play against Flyers. But to be honest, this will not be my team. In fact, this one will be my team, which is a Drifblim with Drifblim or Shadow Gyarados with Diggersby and a dragon in the back. The dragon most likely will be Artibax or Gudra. I always say I want to run Arctibax, but I always end up running Gudra because it's just much safer, especially in the safe swap. So this is if you are wondering what team I will be using, I will be using this team. This Retro Cup is known for being one of the most ABB or AAA teams. As an example, you can run just Ice Double Normal. If you don't want to run Double Normal and you want to make it balanced, you can just replace Drifblim with either of those. Then you will have a balanced team. You can also run Triple Normal and you will have Oranguru and Licky and Dunsparce. I put this Pokemon, I don't remember the name of it, because I know that it's a Shadow Claw user that has super power. So keep that in mind. If you want a Shadow Claw user, there's always this panda-looking Pokemon. Not a budget team. I don't have a Shadow Can Tomato Rock. I don't have I have a Shadow Zapdos. It's just horrible IV. I don't know why I'm saying not a budget Pokemon, because this here has to be Shadow. This here has to be Shadow. So it's technically a bit like of an expensive of a team. Clodsire or Gastrodon as a third will be ideal. Triple Ice is also a team that used to exist in the Retro Cup. And the Triple Ice used to be Dugong, Walrein, Frostlass, and Obama Snow, and you run just 3 of those 4. But now we have Arctibax, which is a dragon that doesn't lose to ice, which is a dragon that beats the other dragons because it wins CMP and it has Icy Wind. Triple Dragon is also a phenomenal and a superior team to most of the teams, and it's one of those triple teams as well. With the Triple Dragons, you have to run Shadow Gyarados. Why you have to? Because it's the dragon that is not weak to ice. So that's why you have to run Shadow Gyarados. No Jump Lovely team, please. This team is kind of a fun team, more like a straight RPS team. You can like, I might run this team in day 1 because I'm expecting people to just lead Clodsire or Licky or Anguru, and I'm just going to fast move them down. So this is going to be my team in day number 1. And some honorable mentions to some Pokemons. Machamp is decent. Chestnut is decent. This Pokemon is a Pokemon that I found that has Mud Slap. Boldore has Mud Slap, but it doesn't have good charge moves. Okay, so if you don't have any of the above mentioned Mud Slappers, you can use this. Mew is usable. Credeli is fine. Caracosta isn't bad. This Pug Pokemon is actually decent in the neutral matchups. But remember that Smackdown is nerfed, and Rock Blast is a bad move, and Rock Slide is a horrible move. So if you're going to use it, you have to go with a Fury Cutter, Rock Blast, and whichever third move you can afford. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for watching. This is the end of the video. If you like this content, make sure to like this video. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and if you need coaching, feel free to DM me on Discord. I'll be glad to help you out. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.